Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Zoning Board of Adjustment meeting, December 19th, 2024. Adequate notice of this meeting of the Old Bridge Township Zoning Board of Adjustment has been provided in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act at least 48 hours prior to the commencement of this meeting by prominently posting in the municipal complex an announcement giving the time, the date, the location, the agenda of this meeting. Also by mailing such announcement to the Home News and Tribune, filing a copy of such announcement with the municipal clerk, and posting the agenda on the municipal website. Mr. Hollihan, could we have a roll call, please?
Yes. Ms. Andrews?
Here.
Ms. Chevalier?
Here.
Mr. Izzo is absent. Mr. Scogno?
Here.
Mr. Stoner?
Here.
Ms. Testaverde?
Present.
Mr. Victoria is absent. Mr. Singh?
Here.
And Chairman Sullivan.
Here. This meeting is being televised on CATV Channel 15 as we speak. It's also live streamed on YouTube, and you could always find the meeting if you wanted to reflect back on it on YouTube. This is the last meeting of 2024 for the Zoning Board. I wanted to take just a quick moment to give some thanks to some people throughout the year. Certainly all the board members for your diligence and your perseverance in volunteerism. It's a lost art, and what we all do, we do for our community as prescribed by the municipal land use law. So my thanks to everyone. The township professionals, while they're not here, I think we should recognize them. Venus Sawant, Nicole Shapiro, Dan Hollihan, and certainly Maureen Porcelli for putting all this documentation together for us. Thank you all for your hard work during the year. Also, our consulting professionals, the environmental resolutions, Rakesh Darji, Bernie Tetrault, excuse me. And of course, last but not least, is our counsel. Tonight, Jeffrey Cheney of the firm of Dasty & Associates, Chris Dasty and Brian Clancy for their work throughout the years. And certainly to all of you people that come before the board to bring your applications here to make the community better and make your own homes better, whether it be the local homeowners' applications or the ones that we'll listen to commercially, which improves our community, providing services to all our residents. So thank everybody in advance, and in advance I wish you all a healthy, happy holidays, and certainly a healthy and happy New Year. Having said that, board members, item number 3 is a discussion item. It's the 2025 zoning board schedule for a vote. I haven't seen, everybody got a copy, I know. I haven't seen any conflicts. Does anybody see any conflicts we want to bring to the attention before we take a vote on this for the year? None? Okay, everybody reviewed it? All right, if you just note, the only time there's an irregularity there is in October. And in October, it's the 16th and the 30th. It's not the 1st and the 3rd Thursday. And the reason that is because the Jewish holidays at the beginning of the month. So it's moved down to the 3rd and I believe the last. All the other ones are the same, 1st and 3rd. Again, in June, there would only be one meeting, July 2 and August 2. All right. Any questions, comments? Someone want to move it for approval?
Chevalier will move it.
Or is there a second?
Andrews, second.
Thank you. This is for 2025 meeting schedule as drafted. Roll call, please, Dan.
Ms. Andrews?
Yes.
Ms. Chevalier?
Yes.
Mr. Scogno?
Yes.
Mr. Stoner?
Yes.
Ms. Testaverde?
Yes.
Mr. Singh?
Yes.
And Chairman Sullivan.
Yes, thank you. We'll go through the minutes real quick, Board. Minutes of October 17th, 2024. Hopefully everyone has had a chance to review them. Absent any commentary, I'd ask someone to move that date for adoption, those minutes.
Chevalier will move it.
Is there a second?
Andrews, second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Andrews?
Yes.
Ms. Chevalier?
Yes.
Mr. Scogno?
Yes.
Mr. Stoner?
Yes.
Ms. Testaverde?
Yes.
Mr. Singh?
Yes.
And Chairman Sullivan.
Yes. All right, minutes of October 21, 2024. That was the special meeting night. Someone move that for adoption, please?
Testaverde.
Is there a second?
Chevalier.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Andrews? Ms. Chevalier?
Yes.
Mr. Scogno?
Yes.
Mr. Stoner?
Yes.
Ms. Testaverde?
Yes.
Mr. Singh?
Yes.
And Chairman Sullivan.
Yes. And finally, the minutes of November 7th, 2024. Someone want to move that?
Chevalier will move it.
Is there a second?
Second, Scogno.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Andrews? Ms. Chevalier?
Yes.
Mr. Scogno?
Yes.
Mr. Stoner?
Yes.
Ms. Testaverde?
Yes.
Mr. Singh?
Yes.
And Chairman Sullivan.
Yes. We have one resolution, board members. It's 45-2024Z. Fahad Kamal was a C variance. Mr. Cheney.
This is Resolution 45/2024Z to Kamal Fahad and Abid Rita for 1 Cobblestone Court in Old Bridge, otherwise known as Block 13332, Lot 27. Subject to a public hearing November 7th, 2024. Applicants sought to legitimize a previously constructed deck and need the following variance relief: side yard setback at 10.8 feet where 17 feet is required, and rear yard setback of 13.1 feet where 17 feet was required. No public comment was offered, and resolution was granted. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Cheney. Board members, someone move that for adoption, please.
Chevalier will move it.
Is there a second? I'll second. Roll call. Mr. Stoner, I'm sorry.
Ms. Andrews? Yes. Ms. Chevalier?
Yes.
Mr. Scogno?
Yes.
Mr. Stoner?
Yes.
Ms. Testaverde?
Yes.
Mr. Singh?
Yes.
And Chairman Sullivan.
Yes. Brings us to our applications for the evening. First one is 50-2021Z. With reference to this matter, I'm going to read it in, but it has been adjourned. I'll read it to the record. 50-2021Z, it's OBNJ LLC. That's at Block 1069, Lot 1, physical location 69, Highway 35, for an apartment addition. It's applicant proposes an addition to the first floor of an existing two-story building and an addition to the second floor for additional units. Public hearing for this application has been adjourned with further notice. The date is to be determined once the 2025 meeting schedule has been confirmed, which we just did. So we'll assign a date to that will be forthcoming in the new year. That matter will not be heard if you're here on that tonight. Not tonight. The moves us to 3 homeowners' applications. We're going to take them in order. Excuse me while I clear my throat. The information I'm going to start with before you even come up, any one of you, it applies to each and every one of you. When you are appearing for whatever your reason is, of variance, the board just wants to know what you're doing, how are you going to do this, why are you doing this, why are you here tonight? You may have some exhibits, pictures, if you want to show the board. We'll take them under advisement. You may have some questions of the board. We may have some questions of you. We talked to the township professional, Mr. Holohan. He tells us why you're here for a variance. Then the board has to open a public portion to see if anybody would be in favor or opposed. Quite often, there's none. Sometimes there is. But it would equally apply to all you. That's the procedure. Then what'll happen is we'll come to a point where we've closed the public portion. I'm going to ask the applicant, would you like the board to take a vote on your matter? For some reason, you may want to continue your matter because maybe you think you didn't provide all the testimony that you needed. So that would be up to you, but you'll have that option at the end. All right, so we're all homeowners here. We just happen to be sitting here on the board to approve these, and we're cognizant of what you want to do with your homes, but you just have to put proofs on the record. That's why we have an attorney sitting next to us to keep us out of court. So, having said that, I'm going to call the first one in and it's 76-2023Z. It's Sarah Douglas. It's Block 15517, Lot 509. The physical location is 59 Alpha Avenue in Old Bridge. This is requiring a C variance for a deck. Applicant proposes an 8 foot by 12 foot by 3 foot, 1.5 inch deck, 1.5 feet, I would assume. The deck is proposed 9.5 from the side yard property line, where 11 minimum is required. Do we have Sarah Douglas here? Anyone from 59 Alpha? No? We only have 3, and I see extra people. Okay. I'll hold this one off right now, unless perhaps the applicant will be coming in. I'll call the next one. It's 48-2024Z. It's Anna Mae Vaccaro. This is R5 low, high-density residential. It's Block 31, Lot 943. Physical location is 943 Grove Avenue in Keyport. Driveway, patio, and deck requiring C variance. Applicant proposed to legitimize a driveway, rear yard paver, patio, and a deck. Is Ms. Vaccaro? Come on up. Okay. Why don't you come up and sit at the table, and I'm going to have to ask the attorney, we'll need her to allow the
Yeah.
consent to this, right?
Yeah, ma'am, and just,
And swear her in?
can one of you, can one of you please just bring the mic to her, if you don't mind? Just,
Push it so it's green.
Push it so it's green, yeah.
There you go.
I think they, oh.
Okay. Well, that's even
Sorry.
better.
I always forget you've got that.
Okay.
Don't sing us a song.
Thank you. All right, ma'am, are you okay to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear as the truth the testimony for which you're about to provide?
Yes.
And can you state your name for the record, please?
Anna Mae Vaccaro?
And you're the owner of of this property?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you. And you're gonna allow these gentlemen to testify on your behalf?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
All right, you can hand that back,
Okay.
and you can just leave it on the table, sir. That'll be fine. You're both contractors of some sort? Yes. Okay. Both going to speak? Why don't we swear both of you in first? Okay, you can have a seat. Make those green, please.
Do you want me to swear Danny in too?
Oh, yeah, we didn't do, before we take any testimony, Dan, we'll swear you in as well.
You solemnly swear as the truth the testimony for which you're about to provide?
I do.
Thank you, sir. All right, just gentleman in the red sweatshirt, I'll start with you. Can you say your name, please, for the record?
Daniel Saba.
Daniel Saba. Okay. And your contractor, or your
Yes.
Saba's Landscaping, is that I'm seeing here? Yeah. Okay. And can you give me an address, please?
For my office,
Your office address is fine.
175 Ramtown Greenville Road. It's in Howell, 07731.
Is it Sabia or Saba?
It's Saba.
Saba, okay.
Apostrophe S.
All right, Mr. Saba, you heard what I had announced to all the residents here this evening. I don't know if you've ever testified before, board before?
No, I have not.
Okay. We just want to know the facts of what's going on there and why, of course, we're going to find out why you need a variance for what's going on. It appears that she wants to legitimize a driveway, right? A rear yard paver and a deck.
From my understanding, what's going on is here, she's over on her pervious lot coverage, and there's drainage issues. Not drainage issues, but there's factoring rules set in place in the town so no one has a drainage problem. What we're here to do is see if we can come to an agreement to preserve her backyard, because she was misinformed about the laws and the rules of the town. So I'm here to help out and come to an agreement with you guys, if possible, to try to preserve this backyard. We're willing to take away some impervious lot coverage if needed, obviously, and any drainage solutions, if we need to do a recharge, or if we need to do some type of system to ensure that you guys are happy with that. She did put a lot of money into her backyard. Backyard looks beautiful, but we understand there is rules, and I want to work with you guys.
Okay, well, I don't think you could be any more honest than that.
Yeah.
And I appreciate your comments. You have anything to add right now, sir? Before I go to the professional, I'm going to find out why.
No, I'm just a general contractor. I'm John Tuffarelli with Triple A's Contracting. I do the
hold on.
same.
Let's.
gonna need to
let
put
me,
your name
yeah. Let me. Do you solemnly swear? Just making sure that's all. Yeah. Do you solemnly swear as the truth the testimony for which you are about to provide?
Yes, I do.
And then you said John.
John Tuffarelli.
Can you spell your last name for me, please?
UFARELLI.
Okay. And do company or anything?
Yeah, Triple A's Contracting.
Yeah,
And I'm
thank
here as well to basically explain how she was misled on her permits and everything. and we're just trying to make everything.
Where's your
correct.
location, your business location?
It's 100 Matawan Road in Matawan.
Attorney just needs to make the notes.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I can only write so fast.
No, I get it. I know
All right.
how it is when you're on the phone.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. We'll have Mr. Holohan, and then we'll ask you guys where we need to fill in the gaps, okay?
Mr. Hallahan?
Thank you, Chairman. Yeah, so the applicant is here tonight seeking a couple C variances, one design waiver for the driveway setback, which is existing at 0 feet where 5 feet is required. There's also a deficiency in the rear yard paver patio that is 0 feet from the property line where 3 feet is required. And then also another C variance for the wood deck. That one exists at 7 feet from the side yard property line where 9 feet is required. And then the last variance relief they are requesting is for the minimum landscape area ratio, which exists at 19.78%, or 989 square feet, where a minimum of 55% or 2,250 square feet is required. So just to recap, a design waiver for the driveway, a variance for the minimum landscape area ratio, a C variance for the rear yard paver patio side yard setback, and then a C variance for the side yard setback for the wood deck.
The area ratio was 19.78, should be 55, right?
That's correct.
Wooden deck, 7 foot where 9 is allowed.
That's correct.
The rear, what was the 0 foot, that's the property line, right? Rear
That's-
setback?
That's the paver patio is 0 feet from the side yard where 3 feet is required.
You said for the patio, you said 0 where 3 is?
Correct, yes.
Do you know if, I see water is mentioned, or you're talking about keeping water off the property, is that?
So what I mentioned before was, with the impervious ground coverage laws, I understand why they're set in place because of water. We do have actually some signatures from people in town, in the neighborhood, saying that no one has water issues. So I said something wrong. What I was trying to say is I understand the laws. Again, I understand we're over on the lot coverage. No one has water issues, but I'm looking to try to preserve as much as I can with the backyard, to be and try to get to an agreement, even if I have to remove some of the front yard if possible. I think I talked to somebody, I think beginning of the year, about possibly removing some of the impervious ground coverage in the front of the yard, so like the asphalt driveway, maybe removing this, so it comes in coordinates with the setback rules, and then possibly removing some of the pavers and asphalt that's in front of the house.
Well,
The driveway isn't, the driveway width isn't really, that's a design waiver and it's not a variance.
Gotcha.
So it's at 0. If I don't hear any complaints from some neighbors here this evening, and they all have been notified, I'm certain, it's probably not going to be an issue.
Okay.
Normally it is 5 foot, but a lot of people have been, no knock on contractors, but a lot of people have been misinformed, and somebody will come and say, hey, I can pave your driveway apron here for you. And they put it lot line, instead of off the lot line. So people do get misinformed on that.
Gotcha.
We're aware of that. It's happened frequently in the town. But again, without a complaint, it's not a problem unless the water is flowing onto the neighboring properties.
Correct.
You know, as a contractor, you have to maintain all the water on your own,
Correct.
not on somebody else's. So if I don't hear anything on that, I'm pretty certain the board would be in favor, would allow a design waiver. Now, as far as the other issues, the backyard, this comes to zero lot line also for the pavers. They go right up to the adjacent lot.
In one of my drawings here in my survey, it's showing that it's 1 foot setback off the property line.
Okay.
In the other one, it's showing up to it. One's made by Butler, and the other one's made by somebody else. This one, I think, is the most recent one. It's a 1 foot setback.
You're saying it's at one?
1 foot setback.
The survey that I have is the one from Butler, which shows it up to the property line.
Correct.
So I think that's also what the board has. I don't think we were privy to the survey that shows the 1-foot setback, but
Okay.
it's de minimis.
Okay. So it's like, it's one where three is required, right?
Well,
If
you
we-
have a
if we-
zero. I
Or
mean,
you
cer-
go in zero?
The survey that I have is 0. I think I'd be more comfortable with 0 rather than 1.
Okay.
I mean, there's always discrepancies. There could potentially be discrepancies in surveys. But I'd maybe leave that up to the board and see which survey they have. I don't believe they've seen that survey, the new one that was done.
I'm looking at them both now. This is an older one, I'm sorry. This is the newer one.
The newer one is
have
the
the
Butler
Butler
one.
one.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so I would leave it as a 0-foot variance request, yeah.
And the deck,
So as far as the deck goes, what was the, what we were,
9 foot.
9 foot, and 9 foot setback, and over here we have, what do we have?
7.
7 foot.
7 foot, okay.
We're on a 2-foot difference.
It's a 2-foot difference, yeah.
So let's kind of start on one side just in terms of steering this. Is there anything unique about the property in terms of the layout of the property, how in terms of the lot shape or anything like that, or how the space is allocated between the front and the rear
So
yards?
the unique of it is there's a swamp behind him, so that's where everything is properly.
Does it taper? Does it grade in a certain way?
Everything's pitched to, like, if you look at the property grade, it's not a topograph here, but if you look at the property grade, it does pitch, if you see it in person, towards the back, which is a swampland. It's not buildable land. It's a swamp area.
So the rear bordering property is okay.
Not buildable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that we've had no complaints from left or right
Yes.
homeowners.
And more than left and right, too, as well. I mean, they got a list here of people who signed off that they are okay with it and they have no complaints on their property.
I mean, that was all, if there was 50 neighbors, every 50 signed
They
off,
signed
that there
off.
was no issue.
Could you hand that microphone back to Ms. Vaccaro?
Yes.
I want to ask her a couple things.
To who? This is Vaccaro.
Behind you, yeah. Ms. Vaccaro, how long have you lived in that residence?
Wait a minute, I gotta think about,
Well, give or take a year or two. I mean, was it 10 years? Is it 20 years? Is it 40 years?
no, maybe 13?
Okay, so you've lived there for quite some time, right?
Yes.
Were any of those items there when you bought that property, or did you replace them?
Yes, we had a patio at the back,
Right?
we had a pool,
Okay.
we had 2 patios.
When you say "we," when you
I
got
mean-
there,
I mean me.
you put in.
When I bought the house from the lady, she had a pool and then a patio, and then another patio to come in and sliding doors in the back.
So that was already there.
Yes.
Did you add to the patio?
No, we just put new patio down,
Over the other one?
took that one away.
Remove that one and put a new one down? So it extended out a little bit further than I would assume than the original one?
No, I don't think so.
Identical?
Yes,
Okay. What about the deck? Did the house come with the deck when you bought it?
yeah,
It was already there.
yes.
You haven't made any alterations to the deck?
No,
Do we have any records back on this?
I do want to add one thing before
Go
we
ahead.
move on. There is an additional variance that has to be requested for driveway width. When I first reviewed this in June and July of 2023, I wasn't privy to the survey that was dated August of 2023 that shows the driveway on it, where the driveway width is 50 feet, where the maximum permitted is 30 feet. So that would be an additional design waiver request. But I can bring up some images for,
Did you have a contractor come and pave that apron, I'm assuming, or the whole driveway?
yes,
Oh, here we go.
yeah, so this is an image on the left-hand side dated April 12th, 2015. The driveway line is about here. There's an existing pool here, an existing deck here, an
Yes.
existing shed here.
Yes, and the shed was there when I bought the house.
And then if we fast forward to October of 2024, the driveway line was here, and then they had resurfaced this grass area that was here into asphalt, and then the paver patio was added. The pool remains. The deck, although a similar shape, was added, and then it looks like maybe the shed was changed, but
No, the shed wasn't changed.
was the roofing on it changed maybe?
And yeah, it might have had new, yeah, I think it did.
Okay.
But the shed was all there when I bought the house.
But as far as the existing side yard deficiency for the driveway, it always existed at 0 feet. There's always been kind of a shared driveway between Ms. Vaccaro here, or I'm sorry, yeah, Ms. Vaccaro here at 943 and the neighbor adjacent to her right.
Yes,
They've always, there's never really been a division in the driveway. So what they did was they just expanded it across the whole front yard property. So there's no grass in the front, it's just all asphalt. There's a walkway area here, but then there was obviously the additional improvements added in the rear.
So that's where some of the misconception of the over width is, because we're sharing with the neighbor. So it's really, not really an exact measurement.
We'd still have to grant a waiver, though.
No, I understand. That's why we're here today, to make this right.
Mr. Saba, you talked about some sort of a drainage remediation or,
Yeah, so I said, if allowed and if needed, we would have no problem putting in additional drainage, either recharge systems or whatever you guys want, just to preserve the backyard. Like I said, she spent a lot of money, the backyard looks gorgeous. I'm just trying to come to an agreement with you guys. I have some ideas, I'm willing to do whatever you guys need to do to preserve it.
well, you know, in order to kind of back this out, we're either going to have to grant a variance or not, because you're not going to change the lot coverage. I mean, you're not going to take up the pavers. I'm more worried and more concerned about where water might go. And I'd probably be more interested in hearing something that you could put some kind of a recharge or something along the sides. I'm not quite sure, not having seen this property. Dan, did you actually see this?
I've never been out to this property, no.
That's really my concern, would be the neighbors.
So,
I'm assuming she bought, from her testimony, and I don't see why she would have any reason to lie. She's already stated the facts, and you can see pretty much in between the two. And you said one was from when, Dan?
The one on the left was from April of 2015, and then the image on the right is from October 2024.
Okay. So, you know, we're talking like 10 years here, so apparently they've lived in harmony, I guess, because I guess no one came and complained about it. But I would like to see something, and I'm sure the board would as well, just to make sure to prevent anything from going onto anybody else's property.
we could propose a trench drain around the perimeter of the backyard, even the front yard if needed, but main concern, what we're talking about is the back right now. Perimeter of the backyard, create some type of trench drain that leads to some type of recharge system that would swallow in the water, keep all the water onto the property versus sharing with neighbors or anywhere else.
Well, I don't want to make her house rich and poor in the bank, so is this a big cost?
Trench drain, if we use 4-inch
trench?
corrugated perforated pipe, wrap it around some 3/4-inch bluestone, around the perimeter of the property into maybe 200 gallons of recharge with some stone and fabric wrapped around it? I don't think so. I think I'll be able to, I think she'll be happy with that.
Mr. Hollihan?
Being that I'm not a civil engineer, I don't feel obligated, I don't feel comfortable commenting. Maybe, I know we've had similar situations with driveway up to the property lines where we've deferred to the township engineer and maybe gotten a memo from them that it wouldn't affect any drainage to neighboring properties, maybe something along those lines. We could maybe,
we were to, what? You can use it either way. We could condition this
Certainly, yeah.
upon review by the township engineer?
We've done that prior.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, potentially the applicant may be submitting some sort of detailed drawings to the engineering department, have them review it, accept the trench as proposed, something along those lines.
Ms. Vaccaro, would that be satisfactory to you? If the board were to act in favor and grant you these variances this evening, conditioned on the fact that Mr. Saba or somebody's going to have to present some sort of a plan to the Township Engineering Office. None of us sitting up here are engineers. And we need an engineer to really define this and say, yes, that's good, or no, it's not necessary. He may have said it's not necessary, but we're not qualified to answer that question. We are qualified to give you conditional approval pending that approval by the township engineer. If the board votes that way. Each person gets one vote, so it's a plurality of the vote. So I think that would be nice. Would you agree to that, ma'am, if that?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
So it would be submitting drainage plan and then erecting any,
Right.
any improvements. Yes, yeah.
If engineer says she needs drainage, it goes in, engineering says she doesn't,
Yep.
she doesn't.
Right. They could go either way. They might not need the whole property.
That's fine, that's cool. Thank you.
Okay?
Yep.
Let's work on that. All right, so the design waiver is, we're going to have to grant a design waiver for the width of this driveway because it's at 50. Even though it's shared, somebody's going to have to get that. So we're going to have to say that it's hers and grant that if the board acts favorably. The landscape area ratio obviously isn't going to change, but we're going to try to ensure that water stays there. The wooden deck, you bought the house like that?
Yes, I did.
It's a 2-foot, it's 2 foot, right, over?
It's a 2-foot deficiency, yes.
We'll see how the board, normally, we've been cognizant of that when people buy into something, they don't really know. If it was of our own volition, we might ask it to be changed, but we'll see how the board goes on that. And what did I miss? Paver, no, we talked about that.
LAR, the
pool.
side yard setback.
Is
Yeah,
the
side
other
yard
thing,
deck,
where it was pre-existing.
and driveway.
What's that, sir?
The pool, which was pre-existing as well.
Yeah, the pool's not a problem.
Okay.
So design,
It's just 4.
right, James?
5, that's 2 designs. And,
I
You were 4, and then you had the additional that popped up.
yeah, I mean, while they are here, there is that shed in the back left that's 4
it's there.
inches.
Was that shed there, ma'am, when you bought the house?
Yes, it was.
So we can leave that. There was that concrete walkway added on the left side of the property. If you guys look at the survey, I'll pull it up.
While you're doing that,
Yes, so
board members on my left, if anybody has any questions of these gentlemen here or the applicant herself.
No, not me.
No? No. Ladies on this side, any questions of the applicant or the gentleman here?
It's basically a question for the attorney.
Okay.
So with this driveway being shared by 2 separate things, how does that affect the I'm sorry. The driveway is being shared by 2 separate homes. Coming to resale, how is that affected? Who is responsible? Because it's shared, that's why it's going to be allowed. But if you're allowing it just for her, she's way over.
Well,
How
for,
does that get,
I
how does
can't
that
really
get resolved?
can't really speak as to, the ultimate resale value and how that might impact. And certainly, that's, that's why the board's always kind of weighed these. And as we start to see these applications more and more, this is not a unique application, certainly as to the driveway. We've had these plenty, and, that's why we usually try to at least set aside a certain, say an inch or so to, or 6 inches or something to make sure there is a delineated, when for example, a neighbor goes to sale, and then there's surveys, and then, you know, the last thing you want is a boundary dispute, and, you know, they end up in court or something, or stuff, deals getting held up over 6 inches of asphalt. So that's, but in this situation, they are both utilizing the driveway, and it's just, by way of example, if I'm just, this is the driveway and they're just all sharing it, and it's, I mean, obviously they're parking, everyone's got their same spaces, but it's just one continuous run of of asphalt, and it's just, you know, two cars, or one car, Correct. Okay.
The lot line's still the lot line. though.
Yes.
Right, wherever
When it
the
comes
lot
right down
line
to it,
is.
the lot line is the lot line. If on a sale, someone's forced to take out pavement, well,
Right, if we gotta cut 12 inches out to separate it and put grass, that's fine,
Yeah, that's the least of my concerns, and we're
Right.
willing to do that if needed.
as time.
you seem to be living in harmony there now. I don't know it's an issue. If it becomes an issue with the new owner, then
We'll take care of
that's
it.
problematic.
Yeah,
Maybe you
absolutely.
can put masonry down in the middle to have some type of divider over that, you know,
No,
or
if we have to,
something.
we'll
Yeah.
cut it out and we'll put grass to separate it.
I think grass would be the best because it's permeable, water can drain through.
Certainly would help the LAR,
Yeah,
you know,
so if
anything would
needed-
help.
If needed, we're more than happy to do it.
Absolutely.
It's a good idea. I think we should do that,
Okay, okay.
as long as it's going to be done. And it doesn't need to be a big strip.
No, we'll keep it at maybe 12 inches for now until the time comes.
Okay.
Let me see if there's anybody in the public wants to be heard on this, okay?
Okay.
This is matter 48-2024Z. The physical location is 943 Grove Avenue, Keyport. Anyone want to be heard in this matter? Raise your hand or stand. Seeing none, I'll close the public portion of this matter. Any final comments you have, sir?
No, I appreciate you guys. You guys are good morning, gentlemen and ladies here, and I'm willing to work with you guys.
Great. And ma'am, Mr. Carroll, you understand everything that's transpired here?
Yes, I do.
You are in agreement to if we were to
Yes.
grant a waiver that would be conditioned on the engineering department looking at the water system.
Okay,
That's okay with you?
yes, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, the condition obviously would be only if necessary. If they look at it and say,
Correct.
Thank you, yeah.
I appreciate that.
that's up to the engineering.
Absolutely.
Again, we don't have any jurisdiction.
Oh, but
We have
if so, we'll
jurisdiction,
take
we
care
don't
of
have
that.
the right to approve or not approve on, based on that. So we could do the Cs, right, together for minimum area, minimum lot area ratio?
Yep.
That was, it's at 19.78, we're 55. You need them separate, or do you want to do them?
We can do these together.
Do the bulks?
Yeah.
The wooden deck, where it's 2-foot deficiency, and the rear setback is, no, that's the driveway line, correct? 0, where 5 required. That's just a design waiver, so the 3 Cs, someone interested in moving them?
Move it Stoner?
Is there a second?
Testaverde.
Roll call on the Cs.
Ms. Andrews?
Yes on the conditional waivers.
Ms. Chevalier?
Yes, with the conditions.
Mr. Rizzo? Or, I'm sorry, Mr. Scogno?
Yes.
Mr. Stoner?
Yes.
Ms. Testaverde?
Yes.
Mr. Singh?
Yes.
And Chairman Sullivan.
Yes, now as the design waivers for, we're going to separate it by a foot, right?
Yeah, so it's
So
going
it's
to,
still a design waiver for the width, because it'll still be over, right?
Correct, yeah. 30 foot is the maximum permitted, so if they were to remove it by a foot, it would be 49 feet.
Yeah, okay. Do you
So you
agree?
need it at 50? Or,
currently 50, it would that 1 foot strip,
so we'll give you 49.
if you were
so we'll
backing
be
off
good.
that 1 foot, you'd come down to
That's the
49.
12-inch grass strip
Right.
from separating me to the neighbor.
Right,
Correct, okay,
good?
Understood.
absolutely.
So I'm going to move that.
Chevalier, I'll move it.
Is there a second?
Testaverde.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Andrews?
Yes.
Ms. Chevalier?
Yes.
Mr. Scogno?
Yes.
Mr. Stoner?
Yes.
Ms. Testaverde?
Yes.
Mr. Singh?
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan.
Yes, there won't be a resolution until the next meeting, which falls in the new year. So that'll be the middle of the month. I don't have the date. It's already posted, I think. It's the second Thursday. Yeah. It'll be the 16th when that waiver, when the resolution would be.
You guys don't take off
You
a
can
month?
still, you can, well, the Township Council has to meet first before we can meet again. And they meet in the first week, normally we would. You can probably be in contact with them in the meantime as to your plan, and then they could kind of get that working. But it'll be conditional on that, and of course, the strip going down the driveway.
Understood, yeah.
All right?
So just so I understand, so the strips definitely guarantee gotta be cut 12 inches with grass. The backyard is contingent.
Contingent on the engineering
And
department.
what about the front setback? Where we agree with that to where we're leaving that, correct?
Right.
So the only thing is the 12-inch grass and possibility maybe to drain,
Yeah.
If needed, if needed.
ran by the engineer.
Right.
So we only have 2 we're waiting on.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Would you guys like me to print out or mock up some type of, resolution for the backyard trench drain for the engineer to look at, or would that help?
Yeah, that's gonna be part of the resolutions that you're going, that, not to us, but to the township engineer. You reach out to their office and submit whatever your plan is for that, and she'll let you know if based on what's going to be needed.
Okay,
Okay?
We submit that too.
The engineering,
engineering department, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, if necessary.
okay,
The strip is going to be necessary.
necessary. So
So
don't,
zoning is a strip, engineering is a different department.
Well, no, it's all under zoning, but the matter is going to be handled by engineering as to whether you're really going to need that. If you don't need it, you don't need it.
'Cause none of us are qualified in terms of stormwater and drainage and, yeah.
That's right.
But the 1-foot strip you're gonna do now.
Right.
Right, so if that gets waived, it's guaranteed.
It's already
What
waived,
we
yeah.
felt
So
for
you-
Waived
was
it.
the
We
1-foot
waived
strip.
it. So you take off
Okay,
the 1
absolutely.
foot from the 50, make it 49, we're good that way.
Will do.
He's gonna draw up his design for engineering, they're gonna review it, say it's needed or not, hopefully not,
Right.
and it's
No,
done.
that'd be great, I appreciate
That's it.
that, thank you.
understood, thank you guys.
Thank you for your presentation this evening.
Enjoy your
Ma'am, thank you
holidays.
very much.
You're welcome.
You can just leave that on the table. Yeah, please. Thank you very much.
Enjoy your holidays, thank you.
Thank you, same to you.
Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Okay, 51-2024Z. Slow mover, is it you, sir? Could you pronounce your name for me? I don't want to. You said it a lot better.
What he said.
Come on up, sir. Are you going to be the only one to testify? Have all three of you come on up. Yes, put her in the middle. She might have something to say. You don't need to apologize. If you would, sir, put a microphone, slide it over to your wife, and then one for you. All right, this is R6 high-density, medium high-density residential, block 15556, lot 385, physical location is 139 Cindy, for shed, requiring C variance. Applicant proposes a 15 by 20 shed. The proposed shed is 5 foot from the side yard property line, where 10 minimum required, and 6 foot of the rear property line, where 10 is required. You heard my comments. You can tell us what you're doing, why you want to do it, how you're going to accomplish this. Mr. Hollihan will tell us why you need a variance.
Okay.
All right.
Basically, I had the
I'm
shed.
gonna have you,
So what, you get,
yeah.
swear, we're going to swear both of you in. You can raise your hand.
Do you solemnly swear as the truth the testimony for which you are about to provide?
Swear. Yes.
Thank you. And Slawomir?
Slavomir.
Yeah, and then Slawomir. Przybilla?
Przybyła.
Okay, Przzybylla. Thank you. And ma'am, your name?
Sabina.
Sabina, S-E-B-I-N-A?
Sabina.
Okay, thank you.
You want to begin, sir? Go ahead.
I have a shed. It's in the same basically spot. we bought the house with it. And I would like to basically build the other shed in the same exact location, just extend it towards my property, towards the center of my property.
As we look at the
Yes,
picture up
that's-
here on the
yes.
bottom right-hand side,
So that's my existing shed in
Okay.
the fat line, and I just add on the side of it where I'm going to.
there's a
trying to
concrete pad there,
expand it on.
correct?
What is it?
There's a concrete pad there?
It is not right now, no.
It's on ground?
I would do a concrete pad.
Okay.
So, yeah, I just need a little bit more storage, and I don't want to waste the side of my property, like 10 feet, and 10 feet she'll end up in the center of my property. So if it's possible to keep it in the same spot and just extend it towards, if you guys could grant me that, that'd be awesome.
You just need more storage, you said, and obviously you got a kind of a uniquely shaped lot here.
More, sir.
A lot more. You got just one, or you have multiple? Yeah.
A lot more.
Yeah. You guys use your backyard for your family and
Yes,
just.
my husband at this moment takes even bikes that we use during the summer. He takes them to his work, so a lot.
Understood.
Is there a reason you can't put it 10 and 10?
Well, basically, it's just, I would have on the 10 feet, and 10 feet would be like a waste of property. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, though. She already sitting in a spot, and right there, and the neighbor doesn't mind. I bought it like that, so I would like to keep it in the same spot. But when I asked the township said that in order for me to have it there, I need a variance. That's why I'm here today. You guys.
Understood.
And we have an awesome neighbor, sir. So,
You have what?
an awesome neighbor.
An awesome neighbor?
Very next
That's
door.
good.
She doesn't mind, though. She doesn't mind.
Dan?
Thank you. Yes, this one's a little bit of a unique one because there's an existing shed that's actually compliant where it's about 140 square feet. Our ordinance says once you go 150 square feet or over, the setbacks change from a 3-foot minimum to a 10-foot minimum. So being that they're adding about, another 140, 160 square feet onto the shed, that now jumps the setback requirement from 3 feet to 10 feet. So the variance request is for both the side yard and the rear yard. The rear yard being, the ask is 6 feet where 10 feet is required, and then I believe 5 feet from the side yard property where 10 feet is required.
And would you say again? Sorry, what it would be for the under 150?
So anything up to 150 square feet, the setback is 3 feet.
Thank you.
Anything over 150 square feet, the setback is 10 feet.
Thank you.
Board members, questions on my left?
I don't need it.
No electrical?
I don't need it.
Okay, I'm just questioning. Thank you.
You're doubling the size of the shed you have now, technically. Well,
Yes.
actually, even more than doubling.
I'm only adding 5 feet to what's already existing there. She's about 10 feet wide. And then
Right.
I'm just adding another 5 feet to it. So it'd be
Right, but
15 by 12.
when you multiply it,
From a square footage.
Oh, by
Yeah.
square
the
footage.
square footage, you're doubling
The
it,
square footage is
over
like
doubling
1/3
it.
though.
And you're using it for your family purposes, not for
Yes.
business purposes?
Yes,
or
yes,
yeah.
yes. For the family.
And we can fill up very quickly.
As a stipulation, you wouldn't run any business out of the shed?
No, sir.
Would there be any plumbing put into the shed?
No, sir.
And you're not going to put any electric into the shed?
No, I don't need it.
Okay. No commercial,
No, nothing commercial.
not a
no.
workshop?
No.
Storage?
Storage, home storage. No electric.
All right.
What would it take to get electric now? My wife's asking. You putting ideas.
Oh, well, I'm sorry I said that.
Got a she shed now.
Would I need also your approval if I want to do electric? Yes?
Yes. Yeah.
Township approval.
Yeah.
Chairman, not necessarily. They don't need a variance necessarily for electric. They do need a construction permit. There's nothing under the zoning ordinance that strictly prohibits anyone from putting electric in a shed. is obviously that question of now what is the use of the shed? Which when I see sheds with electric, I always condition them on that the shed has to remain as a shed and not anything commercially related. But as far as if they were to put electric in there in the future, they wouldn't need necessarily anything from the board unless they change the use of the shed to something non-residential.
So can I convince my husband to put an electric?
Well, you mean for a light?
Yes.
You could
Not a
put in-
business,
You could put a
though.
solar light in there that you
Not a
could just turn on.
business. We don't have time for business.
It would have to be approved under a construction permit, not necessarily from the zoning
Okay,
board.
So, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So I would say if there may be an intention to put electric at a later date, maybe refrain from maybe adding that condition into the resolution, because then that would strictly prohibit them. And then they'd have to come back to the board to remove that condition.
Yeah, we can just leave it, leave that off.
Just,
What did you say?
I said, that's okay, we don't need electric.
All right, I'm going to go to the public and see if anybody has anything to say, okay?
okay.
All right, this is 51-2024Z. The location is 139 Cindy Street. This is for a proposed shed. Does anybody here in the courtroom wish to be heard in this matter? Raise your hand or please stand. She's standing? She wants to say something? No, she can. All right, no one has come forward. I'll close the public portion. Final comments?
No, sir.
All right. This is not unusual. You are doubling the size, however, but I can understand with a family, you probably need that room. I guess you're good friends with your neighbors, as your wife has said, right?
Yes, sir.
So you keep that in mind, I guess, when you're going to get
Yes,
this
sir.
done, of course. And as we said, you can't do any business in there, you understand that?
No business, sir.
Let's see if the board works in favor. You want me to take a vote?
Yes, sir.
This would be for the rear yard and side yard setbacks. This is where 10 minimum is required, and 6 on one side, 5 on the other. It's 10 on each side. Someone want to move this? C2? Is
Testaverde.
there a second?
Second, Scogno.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Andrews? Yes. Ms. Chevalier?
Yes.
Mr. Scogno?
Yes?
Mr. Stoner?
Yes.
Ms. Testaverde?
Yes.
Mr. Singh?
Yes.
And Chairman Sullivan?
Yes.
Thank you.
Make sure
Thank
you
you
keep
so
all
much.
of her little dolls and dollhouses out of the rain. Okay? Thank you, honey. You'll get a resolution, as I said before, to the previous applicant next month, okay? You can contact, does he have contact construction? I guess he's going to put a pad.
Yes, because now the shed's going to be over 200 square feet. My understanding is you would need a construction permit. So once you get a copy of the resolution, make sure to get a construction permit application too. You can start filling that out in the meantime, and then once you get the resolution, you can submit the application.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Thank you. Thank you
For appearing. Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.
Likewise. Thank you.
Say bye-bye. All right. Would you folks be Douglas's? No. Are you here for an application? Or you just came to watch? We're being entertained. Oh, okay.
I'm here because we live on Green Street, and there is a
That's enough. Now, I know what you're going to say because I'm aware of the app. That application will be forthcoming in the new year. And there'll be notice.
okay, because it wasn't actually canceled on the website, so I wasn't sure.
It actually was.
I just pulled it up before we left at 10 after 7, and...
Tonight?
Yes.
It was the previous meeting, not tonight's meeting.
Well, there was a previous
Yeah.
meeting dated December 12th that was rescheduled for December 19th at 7:30.
Thank you. Should have been rescheduled.
No, there wasn't maybe for the planning board. This is zoning board.
Okay, so where were the...
Our last meeting was canceled when that was on the schedule. So that was going to be in the new year. All right, so there is no matter to be heard this evening on that. They haven't even made an opening presentation. But that will be on the schedule. You will receive, if you're in the 200-foot area, you will receive notice. And I'm sure that if you're not, the neighbors around you probably will tell you. Okay, okay, you will receive notice. Absolutely. There has to be a re-notice on that. But thank you for coming down. I guess we'll see you in January. All right.
Thank you.
I don't know that it's on in January, we'll have to see. Again, if you look on the Township of Aldridge and look at Zoning Board of Adjustment, is that where you saw? Okay. You can look at that about a week out before each meeting. We're the first Thursday and the third Thursday.
First and third
Right.
of the month.
Except in January, because the council hasn't met yet. We will have no first meeting, we're only going to have a second meeting, the third. So I don't know, I'm not privy to the schedule, the agenda, I should say, so I don't know whether that will be on or not. But if you look within several days out, like a week out, you can look on the Township of Aldridge Zoning Board of Adjustment, go down to where you saw the agenda. If it's listed on there, it's going to be on our agenda.
Okay, perfect.
Okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
All right, I will say for the record that 76-2023, while on the schedule, no one has appeared. It is 8:25. We have no further business to conduct, so I would be right in saying this will be carried, or I have no idea whether they're moving forward on it. I don't think, Dan, you haven't received any notice?
No, and I've never dealt with this situation, so I don't know whether it has to be carried or, I'm not sure.
I don't either, but that'll be a legal matter to determine. I don't think we have to determine it right now, but just for those at home, that matter has been called at the beginning, and I just called it again, and there's no one here. So I'm going to have to at least hold that in abeyance and find out legally what transpires. All right, having said that, there's no one else in the public portion, no one here in the audience for public comments. Board members, any final comments for the end of the year? None? Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy New Year. All happies. We'll see everybody in 2025. Someone want to call for an adjournment?
Birdie.
All in favor?
Aye.
Stand adjourned for 2024.